Okay, so tonight's dinner is pizza. We try to make it as organic as we can. I get like an organic crust at the store. Well, they were out. So, and I really wanted pizza, so I just went ahead and got this H-E-B ultra thin crispy pizza crust. So I'm gonna try this one today. Honestly, that's just the base. So I just get like 2, maybe 3 tablespoons of pizza sauce and put the thinnest layer on it because I'm gonna build on this, and I really don't want it to be, what do I wanna say? I really don't want it to be too saucy to where the toppings are sliding off, because back in the day when I used to make homemade crust and homemade pizzas, when my kids were younger, I figured out that the less sauce, the better. And then I'm gonna build on it from here. So I have a little bit of sauce. I made some organic chicken breasts and cut them up in little cubes. Also, I have jalapenos that I sliced up from my garden. I have organic onion that I just put in slivers, and I'll just put, you know, just random slices around just to get some flavor here and there. And I am making 2 of these today. So very little. It's very little, not much at all. After that, I'm gonna put the, bell pepper from my garden also. This is a red bell pepper, and it is not all the way red, but I went ahead and picked it. And so I'm just gonna randomly, I cut them in really thin slices, and then I cut the slice in half. And it's not quite a julienne, but just to get a little bit of that flavor on. Just about the same as what I did with the onion. Then I'm gonna randomly put jalapenos from my garden around, and everything's raw. I have not cooked any of this produce. I just washed it up and sliced it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 10, 11, 12 little slices of jalapeno. And then little cherry tomatoes that I put in really thin slices from my garden. Yes, I'm growing 2 different types of tomatoes. It's been tough. It's been tough, but some that I picked today are still almost like greenish, and then they'll start getting more red, and then they deepen, and then I'll leave them out for a couple of days, and as they get a little bit redder, I'll stick them in the fridge so I can make sure they don't rot. And so I just put, you know, like 10 slices or so around of just randomness. And then I have fresh herbs from my garden. So I washed basil. I'm gonna cut these into smaller pieces because it's pretty big. I have parsley that I'm just gonna cut off a few little leaves here and there, like, you know, little leaves, and put those around. And even a leaf, like a big leaf, I'll tear it down into smaller bits. I also have fresh rosemary from my garden, and usually I chop this already, but I just went and picked it a little while ago and came and put it, rinsed it real good several times because I'm paranoid. And then I'll leave it like in the colander full of water in a bowl just to make sure that there's nothing, no little critters that decided to catch a ride into the house, you know. And then I have Italian oregano. Look how beautiful that is, from my garden. Such easy herbs to grow, I promise. And I just scatter that just to put some flavor here and there. Guys, so far all I have is a little bit of sauce. You just tear the little leaves off and scatter them on. Look how tiny some of those leaves are. They're super cute. And then, let me see, I probably need a tiny bit more rosemary. Just make sure I have it randomly around. Now my favorite thing to put is the basil. And so the basil, I'll tear a few leaves off. That's 3, 4 leaves. And I have extra. I went ahead and brought in a little bit extra in case I'm gonna make 2 pizzas. And then you stack them up, you roll them up, and then you slice them into little slivers. And really, it doesn't matter because this is going on pizza. You just want the flavor. If you want it to present nicely, then you can leave it in long little slivers. I usually cut it, chop it into little bits, and then I just spread them out. And a little bit goes a long way if it's fresh from the garden. So there we go. And then I grilled some organic chicken breast on my stove real quick, and I'm gonna put that next. Hold on, let me get it. Now, I cut the chicken into little bite-sized pieces. If you find one that you feel like is too big, just cut it smaller and then spread it out. Like this one's kind of big. I also made some that were a tiny bit bigger slices in case we want to make quesadillas. I make the chicken really neutral so I can spread it over the next couple of days in different meals. That's how I meal prep. But if you find one that's too big on the little chicken pieces, then guess what? Get it, pull it apart, and put it on your pizza crust. No rhyme or reason. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Hang on. So if you don't have fresh herbs, in your garden, then use dried ones. Just be careful about how much you put because a little goes a long way. And then I just get a little handful of the mozzarella cheese and just drizzle it around. Really, it's just to have the little melt factor on it. We don't want it too cheesy. At least I don't. And if you want to add a different one, you can add a little bit of this, a different blend. And I just put a little bit of that on the top. So here's what it looks like. And I'm gonna bake it off for however long it says. I haven't even looked it up. Let me see, 8 to 10 minutes or 10 to 12 minutes. Since I'm doing a chicken pizza, it's already cooked. I'll check it after 8 minutes, and if I need to add more time, I will. Wish me luck. Now I'm going to do the other pizza. The other one has the works on it. It has all kinds of veggies, chicken. I could have put spinach. I have some organic spinach in my fridge. But my hubby is more of a simpleton when it comes to pizza. Okay, so that's like 3 tablespoons of sauce that I just spread out on the pizza. And look, I didn't even use 1/4 of the jar, so the rest will go in the fridge. Okay, so I'm gonna this time I'm just gonna put the cheese directly on the bottom. It doesn't matter whichever way you want to do it. Ooh, I got a leaf over there. Oh, I guess it could stay there. This one, I'm putting cheese. Okay, I use the rest of that bag. I will put basil, spreading out basil on it. Let me put a few slivers of onions, not much. This is gonna be less, just to get the flavor, but not necessarily have 1 or 2 on each slice. Just if you happen to get 1 on your slice, you can. Here's just a little bit of bell pepper. Really, anything that I don't use, I can stick in my fridge for whatever meal I make tomorrow because I cook a lot. Okay, there's that. And ooh, I only have a couple of jalapeno slices for this one. That's okay. If I want any extra jalapeno, I can grab it out the fridge and go. All right, there's that. And I barely used any of the tomato. The tomato may not get all used, and I'll just put it on salad. It's more for the prettiness of it all. Okay. That looks good. Spread it out. And then a little bit of chicken still. Oh, haven't put the herbs. Definitely want some herbs. Okay. That's enough chicken. Just a few little tiny pieces of parsley. Parsley is one of those things that has grown on me with age because honestly, I've always felt like it doesn't taste like much, but it does add a freshness factor to whatever you cook. Even if it's something that you just add on top. Look at these teeny tiny cute little Italian oregano leaves. Okay, that's plenty. And I'm just gonna tear a few little sprigs of rosemary. And wherever it lands is where it lands. You wanna make sure that you don't put the stem, which is this woody part. You just wanna pull a little of the rosemary off. And when I say a little bit goes a long way, do not put too much. Do not put too much. And then on this one, instead of chopping up the basil, let me just get whatever I have left on my cutting board. And then I'm just gonna take one extra little leaf and just one leaf on this one and tear it into little bits and spread it out. It's that simple. You don't want to add the stem either. And then for the very top, I will add a tiny bit more. Ooh, you know what else I just thought of that I want? Let me go grab it. Hang on. Do you like food with a kick? We do. I just get a little bit of crushed pepper. If you've never gotten these spices from Sam's, they're big old containers. And then you just spread out that red pepper flake. And that's it. It wasn't even, not even 1/8 of a teaspoon. I just got very little and sprinkled it on top because really if anyone wants it, they can just individually put it on afterwards. And that's it. I have 2 pizzas ready to go in my oven. I'm not spending 40 or 50 bucks on takeout. I mostly know all these ingredients because they're organic from my garden, or I bought what the store says is organic, and I'm gonna trust that that's the case. And it'll be a lot fresher than what you can buy at a pizza place. Anyway, I cannot wait to try it. If you do not know, pizza is my favorite food. Pretty much. Ask my hubby. He'll tell you I'm a big kid. I like pizza. Catch y'all later. Oh, I just noticed something funny because I'm cleaning up my kitchen. I made a variation of margarita chicken. On the packet, it says 1 wheat, ultra thin crispy crust, 1/4 cup of traditional pizza sauce, 1 cup Italian blend shredded cheese, 1½ cups of chopped fully cooked grilled sliced chicken breast, 12 cherry tomatoes thinly sliced, and 1/4 cup sliced basil leaves. Go figure. So I just put the pizza in the oven, and since it's 2 different pizzas, I'm gonna set the timer for 6 minutes. It says 8 or 10 to 12 minutes, but I'm gonna set it for 6 minutes, and then I'm gonna put, you know, flip the trays, not flip the trays, but switch the trays, put the one on the bottom to the top, put the one on the top to the bottom, and then finish cooking it. If I find that it's starting to get like soggy-ish or whatever, I'll take one out and just put one in and bake it. But you know, one little trick that I like to do, but you have to stay real close to your oven when you do this, is you turn on the broiler on low, and you put the pizza on the top rack or the middle rack, and you only put it for like 2 minutes at the most, and that'll get you a nice little finish on the top. But you have to stay really close by, because guess what happens if you don't? You burn it, you ruin it. Ask me how I know. I've done it before, because I get a little distracted. Also, I just realized what I usually put on my pizza and forgot. Garlic. It'll be fine. This organic traditional pizza sauce, organic tomato puree, tomato paste, diced tomatoes, organic olive oil, oh, organic garlic. So the garlic will be from the sauce. I usually don't buy this because it has a tiny bit of sugar in it, but it's okay. It's okay to cut a little bit of the tomato, the acid in the tomato, with a tiny bit of sugar. So I get it, it makes sense.